The sun beamed brightly over Fort Lauderdale as Lionel Messi jogged gently onto the pitch at Chase Stadium. His pink Inter Miami jersey shimmered under the Florida sky, and the crowd chanted his name with a passion that made the MLS feel like La Bombonera. This wasn't Barcelona. It wasn't even Paris. But it was home, at least for now. When Messi arrived in Miami in 2023, it was more than a career move. It was a statement. After 2 challenging years in Paris and the emotional whirlwind of his World Cup triumph with Argentina, Messi chose peace over pressure. David Beckham's charm, the chance to grow football in the US, and the promise of a lifestyle befitting a king drew him in. Yet, even as he smiled for cameras and mentored young Americans, something tugged at his heart. Barcelona. The chance at Camp Nou. The smell of fresh grass on a brisk Mediterranean night. The embrace of fans who didn't just admire him, they belonged to him. By early 2025, whispers began again. Could the prodigal son return? Back in Catalonia, the wind was shifting. FC Barcelona, under the presidency of Joan Laporta, was steadily recovering from the financial and sporting crisis that had plagued it since Messi's tearful departure in 2021. Debt restructuring, La Masia reinvestment, and clever player acquisitions, like Vitor Roque and Fermin Lopez, signaled hope. Xavi Hernandez, Messi's former teammate and current manager, had stepped down in early 2024 after a mixed tenure. His departure opened the door for a new tactician, Hansi Flick. The German brought order, modern tactics, and a calm charisma that reminded many of Pep Guardiola's golden era. Flick needed a leader, someone to inspire the youth and unify the team. In countless interviews he tactfully dodged questions about Messi. But insiders knew there was an unspoken desire. Not for a full-fledged season, maybe not even a Champions League campaign, but for one final act, one last symphony in blue and red. Despite Messi's solid performances in MLS, his competitive spirit was restless. Inter Miami, bolstered by his arrival, had improved, winning the League's Cup and becoming playoff contenders, but the level of play couldn't match Messi's footballing brain. He would find pockets of space where teammates failed to deliver. He would send passes no one expected. It frustrated him, but quietly. He wasn't unhappy. He had brought his family to a peaceful, media-light life. He was part owner of the club. He had business ties. But the fire within, the same fire that won him 8 Ballon d'Or, was still alive. Messi's contract, running through 2025 with an optional extension, had clauses. And one of those, largely overlooked, allowed him to go on a loan or short-term return to Barcelona under specific conditions. Laporta knew. So did Jorge Messi, Lionel's father and agent. And with Barça scheduled to play their final season at the new, renovated Camp Nou starting mid-2026, the idea of Messi donning the jersey one last time at the spiritual home became irresistible. For Messi, emotion had always been a compass. Leaving Barcelona wasn't just a transfer, it was trauma. He never got a proper farewell, no testimonial match, no final lap around Camp Nou. He had left like a fugitive, his legacy celebrated with tears rather than cheers. As the rumors swirled in early 2025, Messi gave an interview with Tyke Sports. He said, "Barcelona is my home. If I could play one more time in front of those fans just to say goodbye the right way, it would mean everything." The clip went viral. Within days, #Messi returns trended globally. Xavi, even in retirement, posted a cryptic heart emoji with Messi's number 10. Laporta, ever the political animal, added fuel by tweeting, "Some legends never finish their stories. They pause them." Behind closed doors, discussions started. Not a full season. Not a permanent move. But perhaps a loan, a match, or a half-season spell. Something symbolic. Something real. Romance aside, football is business. Barcelona still operated under strict La Liga financial fair play rules. Any move had to be feasible. Messi wouldn't demand a massive salary, he had said so publicly, but even a symbolic signing required maneuvering. La Liga president Javier Tebas, once at odds with Barca's finances, had softened his stance. The league saw what Messi's return could mean. Increased viewership, sponsorship boosts, international attention. A deal structured creatively, Perhaps a 6-month unpaid stint, with revenue sharing from merchandise or a testimonial match, began to seem plausible. Inter Miami wouldn't fight it. They owed their resurgence to Messi and recognized the marketing gold in a temporary farewell tour. Beckham, ever the strategist, reportedly supported the idea, knowing it could deepen Messi's brand and in turn MLS's global footprint. Any decision Messi made hinged on his family. Antonella, his lifelong partner, had adapted well to Miami. Their sons were enrolled in school, making friends, loving the beach life. But Barcelona had always been home too. In April 2025, Messi and Antonella were spotted in Castelldefels, near their old home. Local news speculated vacation, but insiders whispered meetings with Laporta, old friends, and Barça officials. An unnamed source told Marca, "Leo wants to give the fans a proper goodbye. He's not coming back for a season. He's coming back for closure." The plan? A 3-month spell starting January 2026. A tribute tour. A final Clásico. A farewell at the renovated Camp Nou. Messi would wear the captain's armband one last time, walk out with his children, and close the circle where it all began. News of the potential return broke just before the 2025 summer window. Social media erupted. Fans posted videos from 2009, 2015, 2021, every era of Messi's magic. Young players like Pedri and Lamine Yamal tweeted how honored they'd be to share a pitch with the legend. Barcelona's season was on a knife edge, hovering near the top of La Liga, fighting deep into the Champions League. The prospect of Messi returning in the final stretch electrified the fanbase. By August 2025, Messi confirmed in a heartfelt video, "I've lived so much with this club. I never got to say goodbye properly. So, from January, I'll wear the Barcelona shirt again. Not for glory, not for trophies, but for the love we share. One last dance. Visca Barca." The video, set to a haunting piano tune, showed clips of his first goal in 2005, the Champions League nights, the hugs with Iniesta and Xavi. It ended with a simple message on screen, "Nos vemos pronto." See you soon. January 2026. The streets of Barcelona were draped in Messi banners. His return game was against Sevilla at the newly unveiled Camp Nou. Over 100,000 fans packed the stadium. The air was thick with emotion. He walked out hand in hand with his sons, the number 10 gleaming. The crowd roared like it hadn't in years. The match itself? Vintage Messi. He scored a sublime free kick, assisted Fermin Lopez with a no-look pass, and smiled more than he had in years. Barcelona's form soared. His presence inspired the squad, boosted ticket sales, and reminded the world of Barca's soul. His final El Clásico ended in a 2-1 win, with Messi assisting the winner and hugging Jude Bellingham post-match, passing the torch. April 2026. Barcelona's title hopes still alive. The final home match of Messi's spell, a testimonial game against a World 11, featuring old teammates, Neymar, Suarez, Iniesta, and Dani Alves. He played 45 minutes, scored once, and was substituted to a standing ovation that lasted 10 minutes. Laporta handed him a crystal-framed number 10 jersey. His family joined him. And as fireworks lit the Camp Nou sky, Messi addressed the crowd. "I left without a goodbye. But you never left my heart. This club made me who I am. Thank you for everything." Tears flowed freely, on the pitch, in the stands, across living rooms around the globe. Messi returned to Miami, completing his MLS journey before retiring quietly at the end of 2026. His final months in Barcelona didn't rewrite his legacy, they sealed it. Barcelona announced the renaming of the training ground to La Masia Leo Messi. A statue was erected outside Camp Nou, not of him lifting a trophy, but of him looking up into the stands, hand on heart. The Messi Foundation expanded programs in Catalonia and Miami. He became an ambassador for both clubs. Occasionally, he returned to train with La Masia players, reminding them that greatness could begin in humble silence. Messi's return wasn't about winning titles. It wasn't about goals or records. It was about closure. About a player and a club finding peace. Football, at its core, is a storybook. And for Lionel Messi, the greatest of them all, there was only one fitting way to end. At home. In Barcelona. Where it all began.